Hi guys, I'm here. I'm going to do a little demonstration on how to make using magazines or newspapers to make our own papyrus. So what I'm going to use is a glue stick instead of the wet glue. Just what I have on hand, but you can use either or. If you do use the wet glue, you'll need one of these. But I don't, so I'm just going to use a glue stick. And I have some magazines that I will cut up. All right, guys. So here I have my magazines. And I got my scissors. Here. So what I'm going to do is I'm cutting strips. Like this. Actually, like the inside, it's more the newspaper feel to it. It's kind of like paper mache, if you've ever done paper mache. Come on. I would use the newspaper if you're doing wet. If you're doing non-wet, just like the glue stick, maybe this would work because it's thicker material. So I'm just cutting a bunch of strips, about 1 inch or so. As you see, mine aren't perfectly straight, so that's okay. Okay, that should be enough. We'll move this aside. So here I have my strips, okay? So I don't know if you've ever done a basket, right? Before. But when you do a basket, you weave in and out. So the first side is kind of confusing. You got to keep your strips right here steady. Let's put one more. See how it goes? Under, over, under, over, under, over. Right? I'm going to take my glue already, and hopefully it didn't dry out. I think it's dried out. So I'm taking this, just because I don't want it to move, right? Because if it moves, it gets frustrating. So, over, under, over, under, we're just weaving, so over, under. When you go under, you're going to put your glue on top. When you go over, you're going to put your glue on the bottom. It's kind of backwards to what you would think. So my next row, I'm doing the opposite. So I started under, I'm going to do over. So over, under, over, under, over, under. Like that. And this time I'm only going to glue the ends because it shouldn't move because we've secured the end. So just want it to be there. Okay. So my next one we're going to start under. Now we're doing just like the beginning. We're doing under, over. Under, over. Under, over. And then I'm lining them up. So these are because this is not perfectly straight when I cut them. That's why you got the bubble. But it's okay. We can still work with it. Putting glue on my ends just because I don't want it to slide on me. It did anyways. Okay. Under. There we go. Okay. I have another strip. Over. Under. Over. Under. Over. Under. And I'm going to secure it. And just because I ran out of strips, we're going to end this here. Oh, I already glued. So when I'm going to do this, I'm just going to glue some more spots down just because I don't want it to move on me, right? I'm keeping the glue out. I'm just going to slip this end here so here we have our papyrus beginning. There we are. So this is where this would come into handy if we had wet glue, but we don't. So we're just gonna, with our glue stick, if you have wet glue, put the paintbrush away, you would take the paint, do it that way, but I don't. So I'm just gonna paper mache it this way. Now we're gonna do front and back. Too bad I don't have cornstarch. Just thought of that. My fingers are sticky. That's fine when we're making art, and we sort of are. So. Okay, everything's sticky now. What this is doing is kind of fortifying it. Again, with our papyrus, I don't have a rock, but I'm going to use this wooden spoon instead because it has the same kind of surface and it's not sharp. So I believe it's going to do what I want it to do. So when this is relatively dry, which in some spots it's not, you're going to rub it. This is minus the, modern technology. This is how the ancient Egyptians made papyrus. All right, just right. Careful. My glue's still kind of wet. Okay. Once it would dry, it will give you this texture over here where it'll be kind of stiff. You'd be able to write on it. And you can write yourself a note. But it looks pretty cool at the same time. You see? So we did it. There we have our modern take on ancient